Oh boy, we are long overdue for a book haul. You might have noticed that I took a couple of months off from posting monthly book hauls because honestly, it was just getting repetitive to me and I wanted to be really excited to show you books again. I also just wasn't buying books every single month because the TBR is consuming my life. So I'm trying to get that down, but the last couple of months, I'd say the last 2 to 3 months, well actually some of these I purchased in January and it's May now, I've been compiling a small pile of books that I wanted to include in a haul when I knew that I would post a haul eventually. This pile in front of me are books that I either bought myself, found at little free libraries, or were gifted from friends, and like my personal life like made the intention of getting books. And then these two piles are some of my favorites from publishers recently that I am so excited to read. I'm not showing you every single book from publishers, but these are the ones that I feel like I absolutely cannot wait for, that I'm most excited for, that I want to yap about. There are 39 books in front of me, but these are again from like the last 5 months. So let's get right into these because there's so many good ones and I need your advice and opinions. Let me know which ones of these you've read, would recommend, or there's probably a bunch on here that you're going to want to add to your own TBR list, so get ready to take some notes. Let's start with the pile of books that I bought myself. The first one I ordered and is a must read for this summer. I feel like everyone that has read this book recommends it and says that you need to read it. This summer feels like the right time. I finally bought Sunburn. It's still wrapped too, like I haven't even opened it yet, but I have heard nothing but amazing things about this. I know it's going to be so good, so I cannot wait for it. I bought this in January and I've been waiting until summer to read this because I know it's just going to hit that much more in the summer. I went to Half Price Books, I believe back in January, and I found a self-published like indie version of a Freida McFadden book there for $5, so I had to pick up the X. I always get so excited when I find like the self-published versions of her books. The next 4, I believe I found at a local nonprofit like thrift store of mine. I got these 2 little old books on the sky and the stars. I love stuff like this and I'm so excited. I do genuinely read them too. Once I read them, they can go away on like a little bookshelf in my living room. Yeah, I love old books like this in color. It's so nostalgic to me and it's so cool how far we've come with like the education on literally space and sky, especially when you think about how this book was first published in 1959. 1959. That is so cool. I also found the Prairie Traveler. Okay, I'm a lover of old books, especially old local books on Minnesota. So this is an old book on the prairie. The Midwest used to all be prairie. This was a handbook for how to travel through the prairie that was first published in, oh my freaking god, 1859. 1859, travelers of the Midwest were using books like this to figure out how to travel across the prairie. Routes to California and Oregon is chapter 1. So if you're from like Wisconsin and you needed to get to California, you would read this book. There's even like artwork in here too. The study of like humans throughout history really intrigues me. We just had to learn like this. I don't know, it's so freaking cool. So I will be reading this. The copy that I'm holding was published in 1993, but the words in here, it's so freaking cool. I need more people to understand how cool this is because it's like I'm geeking out over history like this. There's maps in here. This was $2. I also found Elle Kennedy's The Deal. Because it was $2 at a thrift store, I was like, sure, I'll buy it. Then the next 3 are from little free libraries. One of my really good friends lives in like a gold mine neighborhood of little free libraries. So every time that I'm over at her place, I'm always going in her neighbor's little free libraries and they are stocked. I found The Mother-in-Law by Sally Hepworth. I love Sally Hepworth, so I know this is going to be a good one. I found Christina Lauren's The Paradise Problem, and I picked up Fredman Bachman's Anxious People as well. These next 4, the same friend that has the best little free libraries where she lives also has a lake house. I was up there last weekend for a couple of days and she told me that her lake house had a ton of books that were in storage that her dad didn't want, that the old owners left. She was like, I don't know what's in there, but you can go take whatever you want. I walked out with 4 amazing books. I got this book on the Gunflint Trail. Like I said, I love local history and any books on like where I live. So this is Minnesota. I was on the Gunflint Trail the last 2 summers. It's become a very nice special place for me. And I love Minnesota books. So I had to grab this. I have a whole shelf of like local Minnesota books like that. So that will go right there, but I want to read it too. A first edition. This one is so cool. Also, it used to be Brady and Kyle's. I love finding old children's handwriting in like old books. New books, not so much, but when it's like an old book and you know this person's like probably in their 40s or 50s now, you're like, that is so special. I'm gonna show you the publication date first. 1911. 1911. This book is over 100 years old, and it's Peter Pan. The Story of Peter and Wendy, a over 100-year-old copy of Peter Pan. I love Peter Pan. I read it when I took a children's lit course in college, and we studied it, analyzed it, which I love doing for like classic children's lit like this. Obviously my copy that I have is like, it's like the Norton student copy with like footnotes and whatnot. This is a beautiful vintage copy of Peter Pan, kept in just pristine condition. I'm obsessed, and it was just waiting for me at this lake house in storage that nobody wanted. I also found Remarkable Creatures. I was very drawn to the ammonite. This was one of my totems from like my angels and guides, where if I see an ammonite, it's a sign. And honestly, the plot of this looked really comforting. It just seemed comforting, and it's a newer-ish book from Dutton Publishers, and I love Dutton, so I took a chance because why not? If you have somehow read this book, please let me know your thoughts on it. And then I grabbed Home Herbal as well because I align with a lot of this stuff, and I like books like this, and this will go right into my kitchen. Those are all of the books that I acquired the last couple of months that either found me or I found or I bought. Moving on to the most exciting books from publishers recently. Let's start with this pile. I'm gonna try to not sound like a broken record and say that I'm so excited for this book for every single one because it's already been established. So many of these will be on my never-ending summer TBR as well, starting with The Lake Club. The cover is absolutely beautiful. I love the style of cover, but also the author reached out because I didn't know that the author is from Minnesota and that this was inspired by her summers at Wayzata Country Club, which is not that far down the road from me. Have I ever been to the Wayzata Country Club? No, but I've been to Wayzata a lot, and Lake Minnetonka I think was a big inspiration for this book as well, and I have many memories on Lake Minnetonka growing up, so I feel like I'm going to feel super connected to this book just because it's written about or inspired from my hometown, not Wayzata, but like, you know, the area, like Minnesota, Minneapolis, the burbs here. Obviously everything has changed, like it's not going to say Wayzata and Lake Minnetonka. When she reached out, she said she was inspired from her own experiences there, and I just love a local author. I don't think she lives here anymore. She moved to Minnesota at 13, and she lives in Washington, D.C. right now, but I love a good like Minnesota connection, so this will be a summer read for sure. This next one, oh, it's so beautiful. Speaking of beautiful covers, Sweet Bitter Song, the most stunning cover I've ever seen. Not only is this like historical, but it's sapphic and it's beautiful, and you could probably tell from the cover that it's going to be a beautiful sapphic story. It's a reimagining of the Iliad in the Song of Achilles. It says that Sweet Bitter Song tells a story of forgotten history. I'm a little intimidated because it is a bigger book and it's about history, and I love history, but the further back that you go in time, the harder that it is for me to like grasp. And I haven't had to study or read the Iliad since I think the 5th grade, but it'll be fun. I'm excited for that one. Speaking of sapphic, I also have Anderson in Bloom by Jennifer Dugan. I have a couple of books by this author. I haven't read anything by her yet. The cover is reminding me of Maisie Eddings' Late Bloomer. I don't think it's alike in any way. This one follows a former child star turned florist, so actually that is very similar. Wait, I want to read this immediately. I think it's going to hit so good though, like in the summer with all the flowers. Another one that I'm so excited for, Elsie Silver's Fever Dream. Oh my gosh, the fact that I have an arc of this in my hands right now blows my mind. It's the first book in her new series. If it's anything like her other 2 series that I've read, I just know it's going to be amazing. Am I ready to be reading romances? At the time of filming, not quite yet, but I really hope that I can get to a place where this summer I'm able to read romances again. I have high hopes. I might have to start with some of the sapphic ones because it feels so much more disconnected from what I recently went through, and then slowly but surely get back to all of my favorite romances. By the fall time, hopefully I can read romances again for sure, because A Witch in Notting Hill is just the cutest little whimsical fall witchy book. It says that it's perfect for fans of the very secret society of Aurelian witches. So cute. So perfect for fall. I also got this arc of Evelyn Skye's new release, Ideal Life, and I love magical realism when it's done in a certain way in books, and I can't describe it any more than that because sometimes most of the time I really do love magical realism. And this one is, if you could rewind the last 24 hours and perfect your life, opportunity to turn back time gives a scientist the chance to pursue her ideal life. It says that it's perfect for fans of Rebecca Searle and Taylor Jenkins Reid, and those are 2 of my favorite authors. So I'm very excited to see what this one is all about. I have a really good feeling about it. And I just love a good little magical realism moment in books, which, speaking of this next book, Atria sent over a hardcover copy of Rebecca Searle's latest release, Once and Again. She's beautiful, she's stunning, as well as a Malibu postcard with a Dear Reader note, a Once and Again bookmark, which I wish I knew was in here at the time because I read the ARC copy of this. I wanted to annotate, highlight, and like write in the ARC. It's not abnormal for me to have multiple copies of Rebecca Searle's books because they mean so much to me. So 5 stars, by the way, highly recommend. That is the only book out of all of these, by the way, that I have read already, but I read it like days ago. The edges of this next one, absolutely stunning, and from what I've seen online, a lot of people really like this book. I feel like this is one of those books where I had no idea that it even existed until I got this, and then I started seeing it everywhere and I started seeing so much praise about it. The Sun and the Star Maker. Beautiful title, beautiful cover, inside sleeve moment. The cover, the inside sleeve, they really outdid themselves with this book. See, this is how you do like a fun cover sleeve moment. Yeah, I'm so excited for this. I got a journal from Atria. It's called the Light Work Journal. It's like shadow work, but the light work, I don't know. I do a lot of journals like this. I'm excited to see what this one is all about. And then I got a really unique book as well from Gallery Books. It's called Bloom, and I'm pretty sure it's through the POV of a houseplant. It says, "Hi, I'm Jade. I sprouted just 2 years ago. You shouldn't be fooled by my youth. Age really is just a number." So it's about a houseplant named Jade that knows that she's dying from lack of care. I think it will be a fresh story that I cannot wait to read. I got a copy of Brooke Shields' memoir. I read a memoir once a month, so it's always great to get a memoir. I watched her documentary. I forget what streaming service it's on, but it was so good. Watch the documentary. I'm sure the book is going to be just as good, but that documentary just like breaks your heart for her. The cover of this next one, again, stunning. It's described as being a sophisticated thriller. The traumatic edges of womanhood. The It Girl novel of the summer is what someone called it on the back. Very excited for the plunge. And then this next one, oh, I just know it's gonna be juicy. I skimmed it a little bit and I wonder how I don't know, actually, who cares how the family feels because they're exploiting their kids. Like, follow, subscribe. This is about family vloggers, and when I was skimming it, they name drop Emily Kaiser. This is the part that I am hesitant about because I know that they didn't ask for permission from these families, not like they need to. The LeBrant family is written all over this book. Emily Kaiser, I was slightly more surprised to see a paragraph about her when I was skimming because it's about her son's passing last year, and it just felt like a little bit like, I don't know if they should have, I haven't read the book yet, I was just skimming it, but it's such a sensitive subject. I just don't know how she would feel about an author almost like writing about such a personal thing that happened to her, especially when it's done in like a thesis about the ethics and morality of family vlogging. And I don't think Emily Kaiser was family vlog. Did she share her son's face? I did not know who she was, to be honest, until that tragedy occurred. And now I see her stuff pop up and I see more of like her today's content, but not the previous stuff. Did she show her kids' faces? Either way, I'm very, very intrigued. I've been a YouTuber for over 10 years as well, so I feel like I'm in the community, not the family vlogging community, but I'm on the platform, so I definitely cannot wait for that. Moving on to the final pile, I have Sisters in Science. I love books like this. It's the extraordinary true story of 4 women pioneers in physics during World War II and their escape out of Nazi Germany. Oh, I just know it's gonna be so good. The Lamb by Lucy Rose. This looks terrifying. It's a folktale, a horror story, a love story, and an enchantment. I'm scared, but it's gonna be good. Oh, I got The Beast. I got the Arc of the Beast. I am excited for this because Katie Robert had an indie series called like The Villains or the Wicked Villains series, and they're all being traditionally published now, and they're all based on like the villains of Disney movies. So as you might be able to tell, this is a spicy retelling of Beauty and the Beast between the Beast and Gaston. Sorry, Mom. Sydney J. Shields sent over a finished copy of An Arcane Study of Stars. This is her debut dark academia fantasy novel. She has written The Honey Witch, and I raved about The Honey Witch so much, loved it. Automatic, like, new favorite auto by author, and she reached out asking if she could send me her new book. And not only that, but I got a bookmark and stickers and artwork and a book plate with her signature, which is just the coolest thing. So I'm very excited for this one and just so grateful and thankful that she sent me a copy of her beautiful, beautiful new fantasy book. Definitely check that one out. Another book that I would love to add to my summer TBR, The Sins of Summer Daughters by Lo Patrick. I think the cover of this is absolutely stunning. It's an ARC copy, but I'm sure it's out. It comes out in July. I do have The Floating Girls by this author. I haven't read it yet, but that poor book has been on my summer TBR for like 3 years now. Hopefully this is the summer I read it. I want to read The Floating Girls first because sometimes I am chronological with my authors. Like I want to read in publication date order, even though I'm sure they have nothing to do with each other. Ooh, Audrey Blake's All in Her Hands. It kind of reminds me of The Frozen River, but I'm sure it's very different. I just know that it deals with midwives and there's a deadly disease spreading. This is one of those books where I feel like I just know it's going to be such a good book. Same with this one, The Woman and Her Stars. Beautiful cover, beautiful title. It says this is an intimate, vivid portrait of legendary astronomer Caroline Herschel. Oh wait, the author that has the blurb on the back of this one is literally Audrey Blake. So she read this one and reviewed it. This next book is, I think it's a horror book, but it's like a weird girl horror book, but terrifying. It's called Spoiled Milk. I'm obsessed with the cover and this shade of purple. So many raving reviews from authors that I love on the back. Someone said, the book of my dreams and my nightmares. A sapphic hothouse of heady spiritualism and bitter shifting loyalties. It takes place at an all-girls boarding school and there is a death of a student. It also takes place in 1928. Oh, this is gonna be so good. Damn, I'm having one of those moments where I wish I could freeze time and like read every single book because I know it's impossible to read every single book and I really need to right now, especially with this next one, Meet Me in the Garden. Flatiron just sent this one over and it's sapphic. It's a story of forbidden love, perfect for readers of Hello, Beautiful, and the Vanishing Half. The New York Times says this book is a sensory feast. Vogue says a lesbian love story for the ages. I think this is an ARC copy, so this comes out in August, but definitely one I want to get to soon because it sounds beautiful, the cover is beautiful, the title is beautiful, and I just really, really hope that it lives up to my expectations there. I know it will. Rowan Beard's newest release, Tenderness, also is coming out, I believe, this summer. Yes, July. This is an ARC from Flatiron as well. This is the author of The Divorcees, which I also want to read this summer, but Tenderness is about a bride that has recently left a sinister cult and it takes place in the 1970s. I just feel like her writing is going to be so beautiful and I am completely assuming that based off of her covers, but I just have a good feeling about her books and I'm excited for that one. Another weird girl lit book that I recently got that I'm also excited for, Strange Girls. I think this is also a little bit queer, right? I saw this correlation, I think, in a TikTok. Why is weird girl lit just sapphic? But then the comments were like, to be fair, all those books were really weird on the table. It does overlap a lot. Ooh, but it's described as being feverish, feral, true friendship that becomes all-encompassing. So maybe it's like a little bit of like a homoerotic friendship. A book that transports the reader to hazy sunlit afternoons. A faint scent of cigarette smoke. Wait, I don't even know if this is sapphic. I totally just made that up, by the way, but I just have a feeling. Two estranged friends reunite over one feverish weekend. They have to at least kiss. I mean, look at the cover. I guess I'll keep you posted on that. The Ghost Woman. Dutton sent this one over. A mysterious art academy in the woods, a deck of ancient tarot cards. Yeah, now I remember the plot. This is gonna be good. Unfortunately, I probably will save this or won't read it until the fall time. And the last book in this haul is The Forgotten Midwife. This is an ARC from Gallery Books that came out May 12th. Comes out May 12th, but I'm sure by the time this video is out, this book will be out. It looks like we're bouncing between current day and 1954, and it has to do with a birth certificate. And it's based on a true story. I think it's gonna be really, really good. That is my updated book haul of all of the recent books publishers have sent me or that I've gotten that I am so excited to read soon. So definitely let me know your thoughts on these, which ones you recommend, and if you've read any of these, I would love to hear your thoughts on them. My camera is about to die, so I'm gonna go, but I've been having such an itch to go thrifting soon too, so I think I want to make a full like let's go thrifting to as many thrift stores as I can type of video on here soon. Do not be surprised if you see that shortly. Please subscribe if you aren't already, and I'll see you here soon with a new video. Bye!